No, here's another tree that fell in Plainfield on Arlington Avenue. I think it was two that fell.
Look at this. My mom lives next door. She's gotta have no power. Mario's house. Look, two.
On the evening of July 3rd, 2025, a violent line of thunderstorms struck central New Jersey, parts of Connecticut, and the broader New York metro area. What was supposed to be a festive holiday weekend turned into a nightmare. The National Weather Service issued severe thunderstorm warnings as the system barreled eastward, bringing wind gusts between 60 and 80 miles per hour. But the true scale of the destruction wouldn't become clear until dawn. The worst of it hit towns like Plainfield, North Plainfield, and Middlesex County, where streets were buried under trees, homes were crushed, and lives were lost. In Plainfield alone, local officials estimate that over 80 large trees were uprooted within minutes. Footage from residents shows massive oaks ripped from sidewalks, their roots exposed and resting on top of cars, driveways, and even living rooms.
Come over here. We can use your hair, man. Yeah, clear right there, right.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Is wild. It looks like the apocalypse. I feel like I'm driving in the
In North Plainfield, a 44-year-old woman was killed when a large tree collapsed onto her car as she was stopped at an intersection. She had no warning. It happened in seconds. On Myrtle Avenue, a falling tree killed two more people who were sitting inside a parked vehicle when the storm hit. Entire streets were blocked. Emergency crews had to use chainsaws and heavy machinery just to reach trapped homes. The storm knocked out power to more than 32,000 homes and businesses across central New Jersey. Outages were widespread in Union, Middlesex, and Somerset counties. In some neighborhoods, people remained in the dark well into the next morning. The mayor of Plainfield declared a state of emergency, urging residents to stay indoors and avoid roads littered with debris and downed live wires. Roads like Watchung Avenue and Route 28 were blocked in multiple places. One fire department said they received over 150 emergency calls in less than 2 hours. Fireworks shows and 4th of July celebrations were canceled across several towns, a somber but necessary response to the devastation. First responders were overwhelmed. Police, fire, public works, and emergency crews worked overnight to clear blocked roads, check on residents, and respond to collapsed structures. Residents helped each other dig out. In many areas, neighbors formed chains with axes and saws to cut through tree limbs just to exit their streets.
Was two that fell. Oh, Jesus.
Garbage trucks and even school buses were repurposed to move debris and ferry people out of inaccessible zones. In a press briefing, the Plainfield police chief said, "This was one of the most destructive storms we've seen in years. The scale of tree fall and infrastructure damage is just staggering." So why did this storm cause so much damage and so fast? Meteorologists say it was a classic bow echo formation, a thunderstorm cluster that bends into a shape like an archer's bow, pushing straight-line winds out ahead of it. With hot, humid air feeding the system, it accelerated rapidly and hit with hurricane-like wind speeds, especially in areas with dense, old-growth trees like North Plainfield and Westfield. This wasn't a tornado, it was a wind burst, but with just as much force. One of the victims was a mother of two, waiting in her car when the tree came down. Her family had been preparing for a backyard 4th of July barbecue. In another part of town, a man said he watched a tree crash through his roof just minutes after he moved his kids to the basement. "If we had stayed in the living room, we wouldn't be alive right now," he told reporters. Cleanup efforts are still underway, and some residents say it could take weeks for things to return to normal. The National Weather Service warns that more scattered storms are possible in the coming days. Utility companies continue to restore power, but full service may not return for several days in some neighborhoods. Meanwhile, flags fly at half-staff in Plainfield as the town mourns 3 lives lost in a storm that arrived with no mercy. This 4th of July, while the nation celebrates, one part of New Jersey is recovering. From all of us here, stay alert, stay safe, and stay prepared. For more verified news updates and on-the-ground disaster reports, don't forget to subscribe.
Trees down and everything.